We'd been home for 3 days from the hospital, and we got a call from the state. The state-appointed physician asked me when I picked up the phone, "Is your child still alive?" And I said, I think so. I just put him down for a nap. And they said, "Can you go and check?" As a mother, your heart just falls out of your body. Alec has MCAD deficiency, which means that he's missing the enzyme that converts fat into sugar when his body runs out of sugar. Some kids with a very severe version of the disease don't make it through the first couple days of life because they don't have the sugars to sustain their body. We are ready at any moment. Hospital bags are ready. They're by the door. It turned out that I was a silent carrier for the disease. I happened to choose a sperm donor who was a silent carrier for the disease. And that's the way recessive disease works. There isn't a family history, there isn't fair warning, there aren't really other ways to know that you or your children are at risk without looking directly at the DNA.
Every single person is a carrier for multiple disease mutations. So every one of us is at risk of having a child with a rare recessive disease. A recessive disease is a disease that is only expressed, that only comes to the surface when a child is born with 2 copies of the mutant gene. Each of the parents has only 1 mutant copy, and they also have 1 normally functioning copy. And because they have 1 normally functioning copy, they're perfectly healthy. They don't even know that they carry this mutation. 3/4 of the predicted offspring won't have the disease, but then there's this 25% chance that the child will inherit mutations from both parents.
After Alec's diagnosis, I got very interested in the science. So along the way, I ran into the work of Dr. Lee Silver, who was doing some very exciting research on how to predict the genetic profile of a child very early on, before a pregnancy even exists.
Ann Morris and I were coming down different paths toward a common goal.
As we thought about how to make a difference, we realized that starting a company was probably the fastest route to lowering the incidence of these diseases. GenePeeks is a genetic information company with a mission to help protect your future child from serious genetic diseases. The service that GenePeeks provides looks at the combined DNA of 2 potential parents before there's a pregnancy to identify the likelihood of passing on severe genetic conditions. This innovative approach allows us to really set a new standard of preconception care.
We're looking at the hypothetical offspring of 2 individuals and what the chances that those hypothetical offspring will have a disease. That's really the unique feature of GenePeeks. We digitally combine DNA from 2 prospective parents, simulating what happens naturally during human reproduction. We use this approach to predict the genetic risk profile of a child that might be conceived. We make multiple hypothetical children for each reproductive pairing, and then we look at the percentage of hypothetical children that express disease. And perhaps 5 or 10% of reproductive pairings have hypothetical children with an elevated risk of disease. And that means pairing has an increased risk of having an actual child with disease.
We give this risk information to parents and their physicians at the earliest possible point in their family building journey, well before a pregnancy begins. Parents can use the information to prepare for the chance that their child may need some extra care. They can also use therapies like IVF and PGD to significantly reduce the disease risk that's passed on to their future child.
My hope for the future is that any 2 people who want to have a baby can use this technology to greatly reduce the risk of disease being expressed in their child.
Suddenly, these genetic diseases have become preventable conditions, and that's our mission as a company. We want to help you protect the health of your future family.